Welcome back to The Empowered Woman with Alicia. I'm Alicia Soikawa, and today we're going to discuss it's more of a motivational video just to tell you about my story again. The concept is how empowered women build unstoppable success, looking at the motivation, the mindset, and just personal growth in general, and how this journey has evolved for me personally again. And it is in process really right now. And honestly, I think what made me kind of think about this is I just got back from a team's growth retreat with Tom Ferry, who I coach for. And it kind of opened my eyes to kind of looking from a bird's eye view about how much I have changed through the years and seeing everybody else on their journey as well that I know that are business owners and amazing women and men that I've gotten to know through the many years of being in the Tom Ferry organization. So today we're going to dive in about the truth behind empowerment and what it really takes to have lasting success without being burned out. I think you see so many people going 100 miles an hour and just looking like they're hitting all these peaks and wins and accolades, and you're wondering, how are they doing that and not feeling exhausted? It's exhausting just watching the journey unfold. So I can't imagine how exhausting it is for that individual, right? Some people even ask me that too, like, how are you not exhausted? And so if this is you, and if you've ever felt like you're doing all of the things, but you're still just don't feel really aligned, I had some conversations today and coaching calls about that. This video is for you. Just looking at my success story and my turning point, and I'm in it. I'm still in the journey of growing and changing and evolving. And I think that's why it's so magical that I can share this with you, because a lot of times you'll see people that hit the pinnacle, like the huge people, the Jeff Bezos of the world or Tom Billios. They're just amazing and phenomenal to see their story from beginning to where they are now. But I think it's really hard when you're seeing the end to see what it was like during the beginning and during the middle. The middle is the meaty part, I think, that everyone seems to want to skip and go to the end. And I think it's really important to remember that your own personal story, just like my personal story, business, like hitting the burnout, being exhausted, making pivots and shifts at different points in my life, it's different for every person. And you have to know what's good for you individually and what you want to build, right? And the moment you realize success is needed, but what I'm trying to say is you don't have to like force it. I know there's this concept of you have to work so hard and work hard. Yes, you are working hard, meaning like it's not an easy ride and it's not just given to people, but I think things need to be with more ease. And I think my opinion is that I've noticed that when I allow and let things happen and unfold, instead of being clenched and tight and stressed and tensed and forcing and having resistance, that it's kind of like magic. It's this beautiful unfolding of things in my business, my life, my friendships, relationships. And anytime I kind of get tense or get into my past self, if you will, it kind of just goes haywire again. And then I'm brought back to full circle. Like, remember, it's with ease. So I say this because for me, life is not just a business pivot. It has been energy healing pivot, mindset. The two, energy healing and mindset, has worked together basically to brought me back to where I'm in complete alignment with what my journey is going to be. And I'm super excited about that because I'm going to get trained Master Go for pranic healing. So that'll be a whole nother journey I can't wait to share with you. What empowerment really means is different to different people and different women. And I love that word because it's really individual to who you are and what you're trying to grow, right? And so if it's not just about being busy, I think when people go like, oh, let me empower you to do business, it's not that. It's about being in your power that you decide for you. And it's shifting from like just running around all busy and thinking that you're doing stuff, hustling around, to actually having harmony in your life and feeling like a sense of calmness, if that way, like a lake that's calm and not having all these ripples everywhere. And for women in business, this is the edge of learning to lead from energy and trusting your intuition as a woman, trusting that knowing when you're in the flow. I mean, it's trust and take action. That's what my coach recently just said to me. And I am coached as well. And so I think some of the best coaches get coached, right? You'll hear that. And it's not just executing all the time, but it's about understanding and letting the flow happen and then taking action on that. And in tying in also the fact that your mindset, like sometimes we're at war with ourselves and we don't know why we're having so much conflict in our lives. And probably it's because you probably have a huge war within yourself. So of course you're going to have conflict in every other part of your life. So if you're noticing or have awareness of conflict in every area of your life with your friendships, your children, your husband, your wife, if your friend, like anything, work, boss, coworkers, if everything seems to be going like fighting and conflict and fires, you gotta wonder what is going on within yourself and what conflict you have in with yourself. So these are things I would bring up to kind of think, just as an awareness piece, to kind of be thoughtful and sit still and think. A lot of times my coaching clients will ask me questions, what do you think about this and that? And I always say, sit still and just be with it for a moment. And you already know the answer. You're just looking for me to validate what you already know what you want to do. And that is the truth with a lot of things that we have decisions on. And the success mindset framework is such a big thing to think about because it's different again for each individual. For some people, it's about having more time with their family, time to be at home with their kids, time to be able to be with their aging parents, their spouse. For some people, it's about travel. They want to travel everywhere. For some people, it's about building a huge company. For some people, it's about serving others. Every person I've met has a different journey and purpose, and it's individual to them. And I think the biggest issue is that sometimes as women, we kind of are doing this to see, hey, is my success mindset the same as my friends or my colleagues? And we're kind of measuring each other. And I think that's a really dangerous, slippery slope. And it's really important to figure out what is your success mindset framework for you and what you want in life and business. And I think the biggest thing is looking at, if you have an equation, the success mindset is equal to your purpose, your presence. Are you present in where your feet are, and your personal power, and knowing who you are, right? And as you get older, young ladies out there, that presence and personal power starts to really land. And anybody that's over 40, you will hear me loud and clear. I know that you're feeling that as well. And these wonderful queens in their 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and 100s can just look back at us and just say, see, I told you. And I just love that. And I think one of the biggest things is looking at women in particular need to look at their daily practices for themselves. What are you doing for yourself to empower yourself? What is important to you? Most women I know, it gets crazy. If you're a mom, it gets crazy when the kids get up. So for most people, I know that it's before the kids get up or as soon as they get to school, they have that little quiet space. I think it's important not to trade that. I had a client today that gave up her working out because she felt like that was the one thing she had to give up to do the business that she wanted to do and be a mom. And I think that's really dangerous because that was one thing that helped her close the loop of burnout and stress. It was the one thing that gave her a release, an outlet. And she basically just said, no, I'm not going to do that. And basically it's betraying yourself. So if you're finding yourself, as an example, and so if you have something like that in your life, maybe it's just walking, maybe it's your book club, maybe it's going out with your friends for brunch every Sunday, maybe it's something like that. I just bring different ideas because it's different for each person. If you have a routine that's for you, that you love and makes you feel good, don't give it up. Make that a priority for you. And priority, what I mean is saying to your kids, sorry, mom has to do a priority. You can come later and it'll be okay. Sorry, husband. Sorry, business. This is for me. And this is going to make me that much better for you. That's huge. And I think I've basically said this in a lot of other videos, but it always comes out differently in different videos because it's going to land differently for each person. Just like you can hear 3 different people say the same message. For some reason, one person will say it and it'll totally connect with you. And the other 2, you'll be like, what? I don't even know what they're talking about. So I hope whoever this lands with, you really get it, because when we say morning routine or daily routine, it's not to shame you for not getting up early in the morning or not checking off all the lists of reading and doing all these things. It's trying to figure out what makes you, what makes you excited to live, what makes you feel like, yes, I want to do this every day. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like myself and my skin. That's what I'm talking about. And it will constantly evolve and change. Mine has changed so much through the years. And I did a whole video about meditation because that for me is a non-negotiable now. I meditate at least twice a day for at least 20 minutes each. And that has been huge for me. And I think one of the things too is to really look at how your energy flows throughout the day. Pay attention, journal. Do you have more in the morning? Do you have more in the evening? Do you have some after lunch? Do you have energy when you're with people or without people? Really important to start to get to know yourself as a woman. That will help you empower yourself to figure out what it is that you want, what path you need to go on. For myself, I have this calling to go into energy healing, and I'm super excited to share that with you and basically put it together as my business coaching and my business and just serve all the people that I can. And I'm so thrilled to have that. And I hope that you'll see differences in my videos and as I'm growing. But I think those are the tools that I use and I wanted to share with you. And at the same time, I give those things as my coaching clients as well. And this is just your reminder, you can be both successful and at peace. It is not an either or, it can be an and you can be in business. Okay, this is loud and clear. You can be in business and in alignment. And I think some people feel like they can't have both. Just like you can be a mom and you can work and be a wife. You just can't give 100% to all. It kind of has to give and go. ebb and flow. And that's okay. I think sometimes we feel like if we're not 100% mom all the time, we slap ourselves on the hand and we say we're a bad mom. That's not the truth. I think you have to know where to push and pull when you need to, and also to call in help from your spouse and your tribe. You can be ambitious and deeply empowered. Because I think sometimes it's that concept of, gosh, I can't be wealthy and successful if I want to be honorable and serve. I don't know where that message got in, and I think it's really messed up if you really think about it. Success does not equal being a bad person. Unfortunately, our society tells us that sometimes, and we've been trained that there's some type of virtue in being poor, and that's not necessary. So if you want to be successful and do different things, go for it. I'm like so behind you and I'm cheering you on. I think it's so important. But if this message lands on you, and I hope it does, I think it's a universal message about getting alignment, getting empowered, right? If it hits home, I'd love to connect with you one-to-one. Just reach out, DM me here, or you can message me in my bio. I have an email. Shoot me a message, and I'd love to have a one-to-one about how you're going to reclaim your empowerment and your alignment light. I'd love to hear your story and connect with you. There's a link below to connect with me in my bio, to email with me, to try to schedule a one-to-one. Okay. Till next time.